What the fuck is good, boys? Holy shit. Today was a crazy fucking day in the market. Now, I took zero trades. I pull up my trade syncer here. We can see five my funded future 50K evals are at flat 50K balance. Five of my top steps are at flat 50K balance. So today is day two of trading these evals until I hit 100K in prop firm payouts on these accounts. Yeah, today was super fucking interesting. I'm gonna go over it right now. But once again, no trades on the day. There was a potential opportunity off this 5 minute right here. Also, there was a potential opportunity right here off a market open. So I'm gonna discuss both of these trades. I'm gonna talk about why I didn't take them. This trade I actually missed out on. And then more importantly, I'm gonna talk about why I didn't take this trade right here, which I've already seen on social media. I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this video did take a potential 5 minute entry right here. But as you can see, a little teaser to that. There's no fucking 15-minute gap, boys. There's no 7 a.m. manipulation. Lock the fuck in. But yeah, let's get right into it. I'll first remove that. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll first go into my daily bias and kind of my bias overall. So let me go into the daily chart. So going into the day, basically we were delivering yesterday had this 1 hour daily bear or bullish gap right here that we tapped at 50% of, then ran towards the upside. We can see on the left we have this failure swing and that major high along with this major high right here. So a lot of LR above. So going into this day, I was bullish. Dropping to the 4 hour. I'll like remove this candle like this. Okay, yeah, so I guess it's kind of bugging out, but going into the 4 hour, basically what I had seen is yesterday attempted to flip bearish. However, overnight we completely invalidated that thesis. And then going into the day, we had this major high right here. Scrolling a little bit out, we had an unfilled 4 hour gap right there, which was very small, but still present. And then we had these equal highs right here, this 4 hour protected high at 52,720 that we could look to target. So as market opened right here, we could look to target these first, this draw, second, the unfilled 4 hour, and then third, these major highs up above. And then going into the day, if you look at ES, this was previous to, yeah, this is kind of where ES was. ES was severely lagging in comparison to NQ, and both of our assets have LR below. So just keep that in mind. Going into the hourly, now we can get more into the nitty-gritty stuff, right? Let me go like this so we can actually see the hourly in full force. Yeah, got it. So this is what the hourly looked like going into market open. Once again, we had our major high right here. We were also delivering out of this major 1 hour gap. So going into market open, I was very bullish. Now, what I was actually looking for, since ES was lagging, I wanted to see us come down and rebalance both of these 1 hour bullish fair value gaps right here, then begin displacing towards the upside. And then this would also put us in a discount within the range. So I kind of wanted to see us come down, sweep out these lows, rebalance 50%, go into a discount, maybe tap into this 1 hour bullish fair value gap right here, and then end up delivering to the highs. Now, I'll be totally honest, my analysis into the day was actually wrong. And the reason for that is because I failed to realize the price action that was occurring in this current 1 hour fair value gap. Also, the fact that if we are to displace lower below this one and enter into a discount, there's a high probability we're just going to take out this low instead of delivering higher towards the gap. Because in a bullish scenario, we should only be respecting bullish PD arrays, and this is a bullish PD array right here. So I fucked up, boys. I'll be honest. I fucked up with my my market analysis. However, I really didn't have time to sit and analyze the market. I quite literally hopped on the charts at 6:27 Pacific time. So I only had 3 minutes to do my pre-market analysis as I was in my college class. So I'll take full responsibility there. And the lesson I learned today is that I guess I need to spend a little bit more time reviewing or creating my pre-market plan before getting on the charts before the day starts. And then dropping down to the 15 minute, We can also see obviously prices holding this 50-minute, which is within this hourly bullish gap. So really off the open, we should just deliver. I'll skip to where market opens. Or yeah, right, market open right here. Got it. So this is right before market opens. We can see we actually have this LR built up right here. So going into the day, what I wanted to see is us come down, right, rebalance, swipe out these LR, this LR, all this LR, and then make our move towards the upside. We can see what actually ended up happening. 1 minute here. Is price comes down, sweeps out this LR. And what I failed to notice, because once again, I didn't have enough time to do my pre-market analysis, is that we actually tapped into this unmitigated 5-minute here. So, right, we're overall delivering from a bullish 1-hour gap. We have our major high right here. We're obviously in a market maker buy model sequence. We're obviously going higher. Yesterday, which should have sent us lower, actually failed, and now is bringing us higher, right? Now, if we go to the 15-minute, we're also holding a 15-minute gap. Price goes up, creates LR right here, previous to market open, meaning there's a shit ton of orders below. Price comes down, sweeps out the orders, taps into the unmitigated 5, and fucking displaces out of it very, very nicely. And then also, if you look at ES, we did the exact same. We swiped out all of this LR right here. And then once again, tapped into that unmitigated 5-minute. Or actually, we didn't tap into the unmitigated 5-minute. We edged the unmitigated 5-minute, but we swiped out all the LR here, and NQ did. So there's actually more ES is the more bullish asset. I want to call that a SMT, but it's just the more bullish asset. But yeah, we manipulated on NQ. And then from this point, it's like, well, we don't really have an inversion. We just have displacement. But what I was checking, if you go to, or what I saw after the fact, because I missed the setup, if you look at the 30-second chart right here, once again, this was market open. We came up, filled this bearish 30-second gap, came down, then price ended up respecting the bearish gap and then breaking above. So this is a BISI, buy side, sell side imbalance, and we actually retested it also. So the optimal entry in this scenario is right on the closure. We can see we really inverse that 30-second with strength. You'd put your stop loss kind of below this candle right here, below these wicks, or you could put it at the CE of the wick, 50% mark. And then your break even point would be these highs right here, which are also equal fucking highs. This looked amazing. And then overall, your take profit would be this major high. So it kind of looks something like this. This is a really optimal trade, bro. This was the A+ setup of the day. So we had, once again, the 30-second inversion out of it, break even at the triple equal highs, and then take profit at the prominent draw. Boys, all I'm going to say, if you took this trade and went break even right here and got stopped out break even, bro, that fucking sucks. Because I know for a fact if I was trading this setup, soon as we hit our break even target, I would have gone break even, and just like that, we get ticked out or break even by a minuscule tick, and price shoots to your draw. But at the same time, going break even in this scenario is really smart. As you can see, we pretty obviously rejected off the high. And then also what I can remember is at this current time, where is this? Yeah, at this current time right here, bro, ES was fucking lagging, dude. You can just see. Yeah, this was right here. So we ended up right on this candle as we took the TP. That's when ES began to move. But at this current time, after we take our triple equal highs on NQ, ES begins to just fuck around. You see, this was the exact trade, or the exact candle that also swept on NQ, and bro, we was just not moving. Also, the fact that we printed this large wick after taking a sweep, honestly, the only scenario you could do is put your stop loss to break even. Now, if you ended up getting in on the retest of the BISI, you would have gone break even at the same spot, but you still would have held because obviously you didn't get stopped at break even. But for my guys who took the inversion, maybe those who got a better fill, congrats on taking this setup, because this setup was it was A level. It wasn't A plus because we didn't have the SMT at the lows, but this was a fucking A level setup in my opinion, bro. I'm low key pissed I missed it. Once again, the reason I missed it is because I did not notice the 5 minute that was below here, and then also I was just looking for more of a discount in the range when bro, I should have just gone with the trend. So that's my mistake there. Once again, it's not like I lost, so not that major of a mistake, and I probably would have been stopped at break even anyways, but it's just something to acknowledge going further. And of course, this ended up delivering. So then we'll go into the second trade of the day, which I found to also be extremely interesting. So, right, going back here. Okay, let's go back. So at this point, right, price has just fucking gone ballistic towards the upside. A lot of people probably took this entry. Some people missed this entry. Now they're like, what's coming next? Now what's next is we have to look for our next target, which in this scenario is the unfilled 4-hour gap right here, and then also our major high right there. So dropping back to where price is right here. At this current point in price, what I wanted to see, right, it's currently 636. What I want to see is us mess around for a little bit, boom, drop down into a 5 minute gap that we form, and then have a nice displacement towards the upside, towards the 4-hour unfilled. So we can see that actually does happen. So price fucks around for a sec. And right at this point here, I kind of skipped it forward. Right at this candle right here on the close, we ended up forming this big 5 minute fair value gap. So right here, all I want to see is right now price is very, very clean. Us to come down, retrace into the 5 minute gap, and then print higher. So let's see what happens. So right, if I switch this to the 5 minute, so we can track the 5 minute. This is the new 5 minute candle, right? We put in the low, we put in the wick at the top. Now I want to see us continue to print LR. So meaning to continue to print these highs right here. So we have low resting liquidity here. What I really want to see is us print LR here, right? Come down, maybe print more LR, come down, displace to take out all this LR right here. That's what I want to see occur. Okay, boom, just like that, exactly what I wanted to see. Price then displaces down into the 5 minute gap. And then also from this point, right, we could form like one small candle here, which will then create a 1 minute bearish for value gap. Then from this point, I want to see a clean inversion towards the upside to take towards our LR and our unfilled 4-hour. Plus, we have very, very nice volume into the 5 minute. Price just looks clean in general. So this is what I was watching at this current point. Next candle just goes up. So right here, I'm kind of iffy. I remember this was like a 30-second day to watch, but yeah, let's say this is like the 5 minute gap. What is that? Yeah, right here, basically. At this point, price right. Oh wait, no, this is it. This is it. So draw that down. So at this point, price comes down, right? As we saw here, price comes down, then goes higher. Price comes down, goes higher, but we failed to inverse this 30-second gap right here. So at 647, I was basically telling myself that if we are to inverse this gap on this candle right here with strength, I would take a long entry right here with my stop below to the upside. However, you can see we actually ended up fucking around. We didn't close above, so we didn't inverse the 30-second. Then we came down for a resweep stop hunt. So I'll kind of go in the 1 minute, show you guys what that looks like. So right here, right into the 5 minute, we have a stop hunt on this candle. Then we failed to inverse the 30-second. We retrace down, have a second stop hunt. Now from this point, price looks really good to go up. However, it is 6:50. So we are nearing 7 a.m., which is a little bit skeptical. And also, if you look overall at what price is currently doing, bro, we're low-key choppy as fuck. So although we did CISD this high right here, and we have the stop hunt, price overall is just super choppy. So what I really wanted to see is us formulate even more LR right here, low risk and liquidity. And then for us to retrace down into the gap further, having another stop hunt, preferably after 7 a.m. And this be a 15-minute gap, and then us go up, take the LR and the highs. So let's see what the 30-second looks like at this point. So we actually had another 30-second inversion right here. Boom. This was the candle that inversed on the 30-second that you could have taken out for the stop hunt. However, once again, is looking at price overall, it's so fucking choppy. Like when price just looks like this, like it's just low probability conditions to be taking an inversion, especially out of a gap when we're nearing the 7 a.m. PO3. So this was something definitely to avoid. I'm sure a couple of people probably took this, but this is simply just a pattern trade. As sure we did it inverse, but at the same time, we're nearing the PO3. Price is just choppy as fuck. And also at this current point, which was right here, right? This is the market open price of ES, and ES actually has all this LR below. I know I keep on saying LR, but LR plays a huge factor in whether or not you should be taking your trades or not. So right here on the inverse, this is where price currently is. And if you look right below where price currently is, we have this LR that's formed. So there's a really high probability that we're going to manipulate up, fail to break this range, continue to take the LR, manipulate below ES market open 630, and then actually have our SMT and continue higher. And that's exactly what fucking happened. Right here on the inversion, right? NQ looks decent, however, it looks choppy as fuck. But the fact that we have the stop hunt's good. But if you look at ES is choppy as fuck, and there's zero stop hunt. And this move upwards actually added to liquidity that's below the 630 opening range. So really, it's no fucking conditions to be taking a goddamn trade in, bro. It's no fucking conditions to take the trade. We can see here, price then retraces down, stops everyone the fuck out again. I'll pull it up on this chart. Price comes down, stops everyone out a fucking again. Now it's really nearing 7 a.m. So this is where 7 a.m. is. And we know 7 a.m. is where the 15-minute chart is going to form our fair value gap, which is an A+ draw, which is where you want to be taking your entries from, especially in a premium, which this is semi in a premium as we've already expanded pretty high. We're choppy as fuck. We are printing LR. We want to see a 15-minute tap at this point. We do have a 1-minute fair value gap right here, which we could fuck around. This is basically what I was watching for as my A+ scenario from this point. Us fuck around, boom, retrace, form a 4-hour wick, then inverse that 1 minute, boom, I'm taking that fucking 10 out of 10 days of the week. But currently, right, we still haven't hit 7 a.m. I want to see us run into a 15-minute gap here, and this price action just looks very choppy. Boom, from this point, you can see we respect that 1 minute bearish for value gap, and we haven't displaced above, and I'm still waiting for 7 a.m. I really just want to see us fuck around, right? You can see we're printing small LR on the 1 minute here. Right when 7 a.m. hits, we manipulate lower, sweep all the LR, have a nice displacement up towards the draw. That was my A fucking plus scenario. That's what I was willing to risk half of the drawdown on these accounts on, was that scenario right there. We can see the next candle comes along. And actually, do we inverse? Let's use the magnet tool here to get. So we reclosed above basically. So we technically inversed right here. But bro, we're just so close to 7 a.m. that, right? Because when 7 a.m. hits, right, what we could have done basically is retraced a tiny bit. Right? I mean, even gone up 7 a.m. hits, we manipulate this tiny LR, tap into a 15-minute gap here, which keep in mind did just form, right? Then from this point, have a real move to the upside. Now the opposing angle to this position right here is the fact that ES just had a major SMT with NQ. We can see here, this is the market open price on both assets at 6:30. Once again, right here, market open price, right? ES comes down, sweeps out market open price, so has true manipulation towards the highs. NQ, on the other hand, is very far from that. So that's SMT number one. SMT number two, if you look at this candle right here at 653, which is this one, price sweeps it out on ES but doesn't on NQ. So that's a double SMT, okay? Double SMT on both of the correlated assets. So, right, NQ has strength because we didn't have true manipulation below the lows and we're holding this 5-minute. ES has true manipulation. Then once again, NQ has strength because we didn't manipulate below that low, sweep it out. ES swept out that low, right? So at this current point, you really do want to see this SMT hold, but just knowing that in 2 fucking minutes we're about to print a 15-minute gap really makes me want to sit out of this trade. Now, if you took an entry from here, don't get me wrong, playing the SMT's range, playing the 5-minute, it's not the worst trade in the world. It's really not the worst trade in the world. But once again, right, we're about to manipulate at 7 a.m. Really, guys, we're about to manipulate at 7 a.m. In 2 minutes, we're about to form a 15-minute gap. So even though we have all these SMTs, price is kind of choppy. The negative confluence of 7 a.m. manipulation is against you. Plus, we're about to form a 15-minute gap right at your fucking stop loss, okay? That's a huge negative confluence right there. So going into this scenario, right, I knew for a fact that this could probably play out from right here and deliver to the unfilled 4. But at the same time, I'm risking half of my fucking account on this trade. Do I want to risk half my account on this trade when I know 7 a.m. tends to manipulate, especially with a 15-minute gap below? Do I want to risk half my account on that? Fuck no. So, in that scenario, I'm going to sit out and watch. Watch this. Boom. Boom. 7 a.m. hits. And we put in that small wick right there and goes higher. Okay, and we deliver right to the motherfucking target. So congrats to those who took this trade, but also congrats to those who sat out of this trade, because there was 2 opposing viewpoints in this scenario. And me personally, I'm always going to take the higher probability viewpoint. And the higher probability viewpoint is us waiting to manipulate into the 15-minute and then deliver to the highs in correlation with the 4-hour PO3. Look at this. We left that 15-minute behind because of the SMT, and we were delivering out of this 5-minute. So, guys, this was a very tricky scenario. Honestly, this is one of the craziest scenarios I've seen in a minute. If anyone has any questions down below, fucking leave them. This was my viewpoint on the day. It was a crazy day. Crazy. Like, I needed to really use my brain on this fucking scenario right here to not make a bad decision. And I went with my decision. If you went with taking the inverse right here, leave that shit in the comments down below. Tell me why the fuck you think my analysis is bullshit. But really, my analysis is not bullshit. Either viewpoints work. It's just, what did you guys feel comfortable with? Did you feel comfortable with taking a loss on the 7 a.m. manipulation? Or did you want to see that shit A++++ with the manipulation, with the 15-minute tap, then the inversion to the 4-hour unfilled? It was a tricky fucking day. Once again, the accounts are flat. I will be boarding a plane tomorrow to Italy, so I will not be trading. But if you do take a trade and want me to review it, just fucking send me a message on Instagram or Discord. I'll link it down below. But I hope everyone has a great day.